Hey Mike, it's great to have you here to chat about this Toyota Kata. And we in the Lean Enterprise China would very much like to localize this concept of this kata. I'm very, very much impressed with that. Can you give us a very brief introduction that why you selected this term kata, and then also why you are interested in develop this behavior studies and share with the people interested in this subject?
Sure, yeah, thanks. It's good to see you again, too. It's nice to have the opportunity. So, well, the research we did, which started about 8 years ago, was looking into Toyota's managerial or leadership practices. And we already knew a lot about Toyota's visible factory practices by going to Toyota and benchmarking them, seeing them there and trying to bring them back. And a lot of books have been written about specific lean practices that you can observe at Toyota. Some of those books, I myself have contributed to. The thing we noticed was that Toyota was getting ongoing improvement. I guess in English we'd say continuous improvement, or they kept on improving, whereas our application of the tools, Marcus, we would tend to improve in an episodic fashion. We would make an improvement and then we would stop, and that improvement would tend to degrade. So we were interested in what is Toyota doing more on the managerial side of the house. What are they doing in addition to those visible practices that we see at Toyota that allows them to keep on improving across the entire company, across all processes, not just here and there. And what we found, it turned out the word kata, which I had never heard before, but the word kata turns out to be probably the word that fits best to describe what we found in their managerial practices, which is that they teach everyone in the organization a way of thinking and acting about achieving challenging target conditions and doing that again and again in everyday work. So at every process, every day, there's some sort of challenging target condition that one is reaching for. And this kind of practicing of a certain way of thinking and acting, which leads to a kind of a mindset in the organization, is very much what is done in sports, it's very much what is done in music, and it's actually very much what's done in martial arts. I'm not familiar with martial arts, but we found the word kata, meaning a routine that you practice so that it becomes second nature. And in fact, when we talked to some Toyota executives, we said, you know, what you're doing here, the way you manage, the way you're teaching, the way you're coaching in your organization or mentoring, it looks an awful lot like you're having people practice a kata. And the executive replied, the Toyota executive replied and said, well, actually, everything we're doing here really is kind of a kata. We wish they had told us that 8 years before, or 6 years before, but it just turns out to be a very fitting word for what we found.